good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday to you, and believe it or not, today is Tuesday, and it is also the 22nd day of the month of June. This month is, Chief Cabe, rapidly moving on.
Yes, sir, it is.
The year is flying by.
The years, it's easing on down the road.
Yes.
Absolutely. It's shortly after the 10 o'clock hour. We're here at the Rockdale County Auditorium, 903 Main Street, and we are calling this meeting to order. And we will start off with the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance by our good friend, Pastor Carolyn Thomas from Miracles of Faith. Pastor Thomas, come on up. You can make your way there to the podium. Yes, ma'am. The one there on the floor. Yes, ma'am. And if you're most comfortable, Pastor Thomas, you can remove your mask or you can keep it on. That's your pleasure.
Thank you. I have been fully vaccinated.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Please bow your heads with me as we go before the Lord in prayer. Dear gracious and merciful Father, we thank you for this opportunity to come before you on behalf of the leaders of our county. We thank you that your sustaining grace and mercy has kept us in every office of leadership that has been set in place for the well-being of all citizens and guests of this county. Your word says that the authorities that are in place are ordained of you. Lead these leaders, O God, in the way that is just and fair for all citizens and guests of this city and county. I pray that the agenda that is set before them is one which will prove to be relative, suitable, cost-efficient, sustainable for the progression and productivity in meeting their tasks. May each and every one continue to assume their responsibilities in renewed strength, confidence, integrity, and objectivity. Give Chairman Nesbitt, O God, and all who help set and regulate policies the will and determination to continue to launch this county forward as we progress forward. Now, Lord, orchestrate this and all meetings to come, that Chairman, the Mayor, attorneys, departments of safety, health and human services, and all regulatory divisions of Rockdale County government will have a clear sense of planning, purpose, and perspective as we progress forward in your provision. We ask and we thank you for these and all things which our heart bears but have not been uttered. In the Lord Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
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 I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor Thomas, for that very powerful prayer this morning, and we appreciate the fine work that you and members of Miracle Faith does on behalf of the citizens of Rockdale County. It's so good to see you and know that you are in good health and things are going well. So thank you so much, and I appreciate that you announce that you are fully vaccinated. Absolutely. We are still working with our EMA department to encourage, and our local health department to encourage as many Rockdale citizens as possible to get vaccinated, and it's always good to hear from you. So thank you so much, and please keep up the good work that you and your team are doing, and if there's something that we can do to help, let us know. All right. Okay, commissioners, now we will have a special recognition, and right before that, I think Director Holmes is going to come up. Director Holmes, Executive Director Holmes, our Director of Talent Management.
Good morning, Chairman, Madam Commissioners.
Morning.
This morning, I think I'm going to speak for everyone. We are super excited to make this recommendation for the appointment of the Finance Director for Rockdale County. I want to talk a little bit about Mr. Mark Lewis. He comes to us with over 20 years of experience. He is a respected executive with an extensive background leading critical operations, finance, staff, special projects in both public and private sector. Mr. Lewis has a Bachelor of Science from Hampton University, an MBA from Johns Hopkins University, and also a Graduate Certificate in Leadership Development, also from Johns Hopkins University. He is a member of many professional organizations. He is coming to us from Multnomah County in Portland, where he has served in many leadership roles within the Finance Department. At this time, I would like to call up Mr. Mark Lewis.
Thank you, Chairman, Commissioner Williams, Commissioner Washington.
Good morning.
I'm indeed honored and humbled by this appointment. I'm looking forward to, I've met a number of really great people throughout this process. I'm looking forward to meeting many more. I'm ready to come, roll up my sleeves, and help make Rockdale County a great place to live and to work. Super excited. Thank you again.
Well, let me...
He catches on quickly.
I'm going to yield to Commissioner Washington and then to Commissioner Williams. We are aware that you've got a flight to catch, and then we'll go in that order. Commissioner Washington.
Welcome. Thank you so much for lending Rockdale County your talent. I think that this is going to be a great fit. I was very impressed with your presentation on yesterday, and I look forward to making our finance department A1 in the future. And I will tell you all that Jamie and I discovered that he has a secret talent. We're not going to divulge it. We're going to let him bring it out of his own. But I do know that I better have a text or a tweet or something when that talent is let out the bag. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I'm feeling really left out. I didn't know about this secret
Very
talent.
good.
Keeping secrets already.
I know.
Jamie knows. It's not that much of a secret.
So, welcome.
Thank you.
Director Lewis. We're glad that you have accepted the position. We need your talents. We appreciate you bringing them and agreeing to bring them to Rockdale County. I think you will find that this board is pretty progressive and we look forward to working with you and, like you said, moving Rockdale forward and making it a great place to work and to live. So thank you so much. And our connection is not a secret talent, just that we have both flown right past Mount Hood on the way into Portland, and it's a beautiful, beautiful sight.
Absolutely.
Director Lewis, I waited a long time to be able to say Director Lewis. As Director Holmes talked about the anticipation of this board and all of our colleagues that run Rockdale County, all of the other directors, as you know, the CFO, the position that you have received is certainly a high-level position that impacts every single thing we do. So I won't prolong it. I know that you've got a flight to get back out, and I want to go ahead and give you a little bit of a warning. I met with Chief Cade just a couple of days ago. When you get back to Portland, you will notice there will be a crew of 7 people wearing Rockdale uniforms assisting to unpack, reload, and get your vehicle and get you back to the airport and get you on here as soon as we can get you here. So they're not intruders. You don't need to call the police. They are Rockdale team waiting to get you packed. And
Excellent.
The question that Chief Cape asked you last night about how long, that was just to throw you off. Right, it was just a formality. Don't worry about it. Come on next week.
congratulations. Let's give them a round of applause. Welcome aboard and safe travels, and we'll see you in the days ahead.
Thank you, Board. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you so much. So I'm going to go off script here just for a second. Commissioner Washington, how you really feel? This is a big deal. We just got a finance director.
I know, and that is monumental. I think that one of my directives, and I think both of you all would concur, is that I want to make our finance department A1. I want it to be the model finance department throughout the state of Georgia and beyond. And I think that Mr. Lewis, or Director Lewis, has the talent that would do that. I'm very impressed with his leadership capabilities. His resume was one thing, but just to meet with him and have the opportunity to converse with him was made me know that the vision that I have for finance would be carried out under his leadership.
Very good. Commissioner Williams, we got through all that politically correct stuff a moment ago, but how do you really feel?
I am very excited about having Director Lewis on board. One of the things I took away from my meeting with him yesterday was that he is very interested in leadership development and personnel development, and making sure that his department has the training and the skills and the knowledge to really provide and work together in such a way that they will be very effective. So I'm sorry he's not starting next week, but we look forward to having him relocate and join us.
Very good. Well, I too am super excited because this role means everything to county operations. One of the things that stood out the most with me with Director Lewis is that, and I think it's been said by both commissioners in a different way, but he has a clear understanding of corporate and executive leadership when it comes to financial management. His level of discipline, and we learned a lesson through our good friends David Corbin and Mac Underwood, the importance of not just being fiscally responsible, but financial discipline, and making sure that we carry that out throughout all of the county departments and auxiliaries. And one of the things this team has already done this year through our CIP forecast, 5-year planning, was to really implement that level of discipline. And when I had an opportunity to talk with Director Lewis, it was crystal clear that was a major attribute and pinpoint that he has to make sure that the level of discipline on a day-to-day basis is actually implemented. So we are excited. Just wanted to give you an opportunity to give us your real thoughts. We're going to get back to the agenda, and we'll go to item number 3. We'll have a special recognition and presentation of the American Recovery Plan at this time.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Thank you so much. Mr. Chair, if it's okay, I'll just keep my seat and present from right here, if that's all right.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, Madam Commissioners, thank you for this opportunity to present to you this presentation on the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. As the commissioners all know, senior staff, and also our community understands, Rockdale County has been the recipient of American Recovery Act funds, otherwise known as ARPA. And essentially, this presentation is intended to provide a broad overview of what our commissioners envision for expenditures under the first tranche of funds that have been received by Rockdale County. Again, this is a broad overview, and this is one that will basically provide some insight into the next steps forward as it relates to these funds. House Resolution 1319, under the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, basically states, and in a nutshell, the summary is the rescue plan will provide needed relief to state, local, and tribal governments to enable them to continue to support the public health response and lay the foundation for a strong, equitable economic recovery. In addition to helping governments address the revenue losses they have experienced as a result of the crisis, funds will assist to cover the cost incurred as a result of responding to the public health emergencies and provide support for recovery. ARPA will also provide resources for state, local, and tribal governments to invest in infrastructure, including water, sewer, and broadband services. So ARPA funding, as it relates to Rockdale County, ARPA funding will serve as a catalyst for restoration and growth in Rockdale County. The Phase 1 tranche was received, as they term it at the federal government level. A tranche is basically a deposit, and the tranche was received by Rockdale County government in May of 2021, last month. Since that time, all three commissioners, as you know, have been heavily involved with senior staff in making plans for next steps forward as it relates to the allocation and expenditure of funds. Phase 2 is expected in May of 2022, the second tranche. So we basically have received the first 50%, and we will receive the second 50% in May of 2022. The first allotment that was allocated in the first tranche was $8,827,741. Out of these funds, there are only certain things that are approved by the U.S. Treasury that the expenditures can be made. Those standards are changing or have changed a few times since they were originally published by the U.S. Treasury Department. So we're working to make sure that all of the standards are adhered to. All of the senior staff, along with our financial advisors, are working together. But in the meetings with each commissioner has expressed that their number one goal is to make sure that the people are first, keep the people first. So that's first and foremost. That's an initial goal of the funds. Second is to strictly adhere to all guidelines set by the U.S. Treasury Department. All three commissioners have expressed the interest in making sure that our government strictly adheres to the standards. Third is coordination, collaboration, and communication. Basically, everyone involved as it relates to this process. We get our vision from the commissioners. All three commissioners have been very integral and very involved in this process, not only in providing input, but setting the standards and the vision for how you want to see the expenditure of funds carried out. That also permeates down. So the senior staff, along with all of our directors, deputy directors, will play a part in the planning and carrying out the commissioner's goals. And then fourth, all expenditures will be presented to the full Board of Commission for approval. So whatever funds are determined to be expended, the board will approve the expenditures all the way through. We have a brief 2-minute video. This is Post 1 Commissioner Washington, who was a guest speaker at the Interstate Cooperation meeting at the state capitol on June 18th, which was last week.
Thank you for the invitation. But I'm actually sitting here proud. We received our first tranche in Rockdale County. We've been allocated over $16 million total. So we have a little bit over $8 million. And we went and rolled up our sleeves trying to figure out the best way to allocate the money. And all three of us came out with the people first. And so I'm very, very, very proud today to say that we have allocated over $2.5 million for workforce development, for small business assistance. We'll be rolling out a grant program for the small business assistance. We will be helping with evictions. I said workforce development, and other community improvement projects. Also, it's very, very important to us to recognize the hard work that our first responders did, keeping everybody safe. So we are doing incentives for our employees that were first responders. So we've allocated almost $2 million for those things, for that kind of assistance. So the rest of it is to shore up the county things to make it safer for the pandemic, like our historic courthouse. We're going to ionize because we want to keep it safe. But like I said, I'm standing here very, very proud of the work that we've done in Rockdale counties to make sure that we put the people first with this first tranche. And I will definitely make sure that having been here, that when we get ready to allocate the funds for the second tranche, we keep the people first again. Thank you so much.
So expounding on Commissioner Washington's comments during this guest speaking engagement, there's a lot of work that goes on for something like this behind the scenes that the public doesn't always get to see. All of our commissioners have been heavily involved individually or in individual meetings with senior staff in setting priorities and making sure that everything is adhered to. The collaboration among the board, even though you all had separate meetings, was amazing. We passed the message on from one commissioner to the next commissioner, and it was a true pleasure of the staff that each commissioner was able to collaborate and come to an overall consensus of keeping the people first. So with that said, priority one of the Board of Commissioners is keeping the people first as it relates to the American Recovery Plan Act funds. First and foremost, though, before we get into this priority and how we intend, a broad overview of how we intend to do this, the board collectively agreed that it was important to allocate funds for reserve. So in the first tranche that was assigned from the federal government, a minimum of 10% of the first tranche is being held as reserve funding for unexpected future needs of the county that may qualify. So right off the very bat, the board has agreed that 10% is held for any kind of unexpected emergencies that may come up in the future. So with that aside, we get into the first priority and the main priority of the Board of Commissioners collectively, which is community programs. The main priority of the Rockdale Board of Commissioners is community programming. And to accomplish this, there are a broad overview of how we intend to implement the funds. That includes small business assistance, nonprofit assistance, homelessness prevention, workforce development, rental eviction prevention assistance, and the Stepping Up Initiative mental health awareness. And in particular, the last item, obviously work has been done for many months and many years as it relates to the mental health awareness and the Stepping Up Initiative, but this ties into the criminal justice reform and making sure that we are doing everything we can to keep people out of jail that do not need to be in jail but need to get mental health assistance in certain situations. So those are the initial priorities collectively of the board, and that's our marching orders moving forward. So this essentially is the what. So when I say that this is the what I'm referring to is there's 4 different categories that basically were just described. Initially, we have funds being allocated for reserve status for future unexpected emergencies. We have funding for community programs, which was just described on the previous slide. And then the other priorities include funding for county needs and funding for essential employees. So as we get into the other priorities, other initial priorities of the board, capital improvements that may qualify for ARPA funding, which may ease some stress and relief off of the current capital needs collectively for all of the elected office and departments. And then also premium pay to essential employees of Rockdale County that have been ensuring that the continuity of operations are being maintained during the pandemic and throughout the entire pandemic. And obviously, they're all still working very hard here today. The allocations, this is just a brief pie graph that reflects the allocation for community programs, which is shaded in the blue, the essential employee allocation, which is in orange, the community needs, which is in gray, and then also the remaining funds, which is the minimum of 10% as it relates to allocation for emergency funding down the road. So what's next? The what has been determined. We basically have provided a brief overview of what we intend to do initially. Obviously, this is a fluid process, and process may be changed based on the needs of the county government as we move forward. But we're actively and have been working on the how. So the broad overview is what we have established here today is that the bulk is going towards not only county operations, but also the main priority is community programs. But what staff is continuing to do is work to ensure that we maintain the proper standards that are set forth by the U.S. Treasury in the allocation of the funds. So we are working on the minute details of how we're going to roll out these community programs and do it in strict adherence with the standards from the U.S. Treasury. Second, the public awareness campaign. We're going to work with our PR department and also every elected office and every department to ensure that there's an inclusive, centralized, one-stop shop webpage where people can learn about various kinds of support. So if people are watching this presentation and they're thinking, well, how do I know what's going to be offered, or how do I know what the county intends to do, or how they're going to roll this out? That's the ultimate goal, is to have a web page where people can go to the web page and learn more information. And of course, along with that, those that maybe are not computer savvy or have access to the internet, our PR department, in conjunction with the chairman's community relations manager, will make sure that, and our constituent services liaison will ensure that the message is sent out to those that need to receive it. And then also a media outreach campaign, both in English and Spanish, so that we can make sure that we reach a broad range of communities. More information to come. It'll be presented at the regular BOC meetings, also on our social media sites, and also presentations throughout the community at civic organizations and other organizations of the like. And with that, Mr. Chairman or Madam Commissioners, I'm available for any questions or...
I'm going to yield to both the commissioners very quickly. I want to say hats off to Commissioner Washington, who represented us very, very well, and Commissioner Williams, I'm telling you, as I was listening to you, Commissioner Washington, talking about putting the people first, and of course I've heard the chief expound upon that going through the presentation. I got more to say, but I'm excited about the representation and the feedback. In fact, I've heard from a couple other folks how good of a job you did representing Rockdale. I'm going to yield to Commissioner Washington.
Well, when I accepted the invitation on your behalf, thank you for allowing me. I went thinking that I was going to get ideas on how we could serve the community. And as the meeting progressed, I realized that there were so many other organizations or entities that were having huge problems with how the money that they received was being disseminated. Philosophical differences, definitely party, the interpretation of the entire act. They were big. I had one commissioner, she broke down crying because she's not able to help the people that she in her district the way that she wanted to. It was that serious. And we had just had our meetings the day before, so I'm sitting here like, wow, we're actually put the people first. When we came, when I left my meeting on Thursday, and after I received the information from Chief Cabe about the other two meetings, and we were all lockstep on the number one priority with this money was making sure that our people, the residents of Rockdale County, were shored up and had the things that they need, and we were able to address some other community concerns with the funding. I was sitting there so proud of Rockdale County. And what you all couldn't hear there were people cheering for Rockdale County. They were actually applauding, and I had numerous questions asked to me after we left about how we allocated the funds. And it was just a great day to know that we were doing what I think the bill calls for. And it was a great day to represent the county and to be able to show what, when you have a fundamental philosophy of keeping the people first, we practice that on a day-to-day basis. And so that transcends into what we did for the American Rescue Plan Act, and just to be able to represent us in that fashion. So I thank you all for your hard work and the ability I felt like the chief policymaker on Friday. So I thank you all, and I'm looking forward to the things that we're going to do with this funding.
Very good. Commissioner Williams.
So I think we have set a model for our community, first by saying we're going to save back 10%, because we know that's good fiscal management, whether you're talking about, you know, your personal budget, your company budget, or your county government budget. 10% should always go into savings for unexpected expenses. And so I think we've set the tone and set the right model for our citizens to, you know, to help them know and evaluate their own financial situations, but also to put that money in reserve for anything unexpected. Mm-hmm. Secondly, of course, the first thing I thought of too was, what are the needs of our citizens in the community? And when Chief Cabe mentioned homelessness today, I had a conversation with a housing provider this past weekend, and she was telling me that there are 45 to 50 citizens of Rockdale County who are living on our streets and not in any kind of housing. I knew that we had a population. I did not realize it was that high. Those folks, it's not a simple matter for many of them they just don't have a place to live, or they've lost their job. There's usually addiction or mental health issues involved. And so it's a very, you know, there's not a simple fix to that. It's got to be a total wraparound kind of service that we look at those funds that we want to spend on serving those who are homeless. I think it's also important to realize that some of those fundings are going to county needs. And by using those funds, it means we don't have to use funding out of the general fund. And so that's going to be important as we move forward in the next couple months in setting the millage rate. And the conversation came up several times that we may be able to keep the millage rate lower than we had anticipated that we would because of these funds that will go. And so we are still thinking about the citizens first. And I'm really pleased also with the allotment that will go to our essential employees. I think that we owe a lot to our employees who have continued to work, continued to be out there through all of the different phases of the pandemic, including when we started March 13th and completely shut everything down, as did much of the country. And now we're slowly moving back. We're not back to our normal procedures, but through that whole phase, our employees have worked hard, whether they were working here or working at home, and we owe them for that. And our citizens owe them for that. That's it.
All right. Well, I'll just simply say that I really appreciate the theme of the people first. That has always, as Commissioner Washington has pointed out, that has always been the underlying goal here in Rockdale County, particularly under this administration, that we put the people of Rockdale County first. In the presentation, one of the things that continued to come out was forward thinking. As Commissioner Williams pointed out, to save and hold on to the 10% for the what if and the just in case, because we, if nothing else, this whole pandemic has taught us, as we didn't plan for this in 2019 or 2018 or 2017, there's always a just in case or a what if. I see this like occasionally finding a $20 bill or a $5 bill in my pant pocket before I take it to the dry cleaners, and just before I hand it to the lady, I'm checking the pants, and we've got a mystery check here, and it allows us to do good for the community, take care of some of the infrastructure and county needs as it relates to day-to-day operation, and it also allows us to do some forward thinking, reserving a certain amount of those funds for the just in case. But then don't miss what Commissioner Williams just said. To be able to sow back into the coffers of our employees, particularly those who have worked throughout this entire pandemic, public safety, other county employees, we got a lot to be excited about and to celebrate. I also want to make mention of this because as Commissioner Washington was talking about her delivery to other colleagues throughout the region, Commissioner Williams, I just couldn't help but to think about the leadership of our staff and how the team has worked cohesively together to collaborate throughout all departments to make sure that we streamlined this process and had it very tight. And they made us look good as commissioners. So making sure that we were able to drill down and work with our financial advisors, and work with all of the members of our leadership team to come up with a product that we can be proud of, and certainly the citizens of Rockdale County can be proud of as well. So there's a lot to celebrate as we continue to move forward. I do appreciate the forward thinking on all of this, and I'm confident that the employees in Rockdale County are going to be well pleased with the decision of this board moving forward regarding these funds. Absolutely. Well, Chief, thank you for the presentation this morning. I think it was very clean and clear in terms of the delivery of it, and it was to a point that just anybody watching and listening to this broadcast would be able to digest what we're doing and what the plans are going forward. And I also, one last thing, want to mention that Chief Cade talked about our public relations doing a constant campaign, keeping folks abreast as to what's going on. And I think I heard him say something about having a place on the website where people can go and find out and track and trace the movement of what we're doing with these funds. And that is so, and we've had some very clear examples as to what to do and what not to do. And we certainly chose the high road here in Rockdale County, and I'm proud to be a part of that.
And one other comment was I was really happy to see that Public Relations was going to do a media outreach in English and in Spanish.
Yes.
I think that we are becoming aware of a growing Hispanic population and our desire to serve them and have them understand what we're doing. And so I really appreciate that bilingual approach.
Outstanding. Okay, commissioners, moving right along with our agenda this morning, what is your pleasure in terms of the approval of the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
I second that motion.
Been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Approval of the minutes from June 8th, 2021 and June 15th, 2021.
I move to approve the minutes as presented.
I second the motion.
Been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. There's no unfinished business at this time. Director Rutledge, we're moving right on to the consent agenda.
I move to approve the items on the consent agenda as listed.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions?
Can I say something? Last week, when we got to item 2021-294, the budget vet, I did ask a question about her licensing, and you all didn't tell me that she has a new facility. I did go by there. Beautiful facility, beautiful presentation. I know that she's taking great care of those fur babies, and I'm looking forward to this partnership.
Very good, very good. Thank you. So it's been properly motioned and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We are now down to the regular agenda. Director Rutledge.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Item 301 is an ordinance to amend the text of Section 106-1 definitions and Sections 218-1 permitted use table of the Unified Development Ordinance of Rockdale County as amended. This is regarding parks and playgrounds and nature parks and other similar institutions, to repeal conflicting ordinances and for other purposes. This is submitted for a second reading.
I move to approve the second reading and to adopt this ordinance as presented.
I second the motion.
Been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item 302, please.
This is an ordinance to amend the text of Section 218-1 permitted use table of the Unified Development Ordinance of Rockdale County as amended regarding pool halls, billiard, or pool parlors to repeal conflicting ordinances and for other purposes. This is submitted for a second reading.
I move to approve the second reading and to adopt the ordinance as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions?
No, but doesn't it always make you think of the Music Man? You may be too young.
I know what you're referring to.
So, it may be
no, I
you're old
do.
The
enough.
pool hall is a
And guys and dogs.
piece of
you know,
that.
so you're right.
I've been
Let me write this
to a
down.
few pool
Music
halls, and
Man.
we've got a few pool halls here in Rockdale County as well.
Oh, I've been to, never mind.
So
I
we
frequent the pool halls.
Okay, motion second.
motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right, item 303, please.
At least Broadway's opening back up soon, so. Item 303 is an ordinance to amend the text of Section 218-1 permitted use table of the Unified Development Ordinance of Rockdale County as amended regarding motor vehicle towing, to repeal conflicting ordinances and for other purposes. This is submitted for a second reading.
I move to approve the second reading and to adopt this ordinance as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item 304, please.
This is an ordinance to amend the text of Section 106-1 definitions, Sections 218-1 permitted use table, Sections 218-13 standard of use and development of the Unified Development Ordinance of Rockdale County as amended regarding limited animal services and kennel, pet boarding, to repeal conflicting ordinances and for other purposes. This is submitted for a second reading.
I move to approve the second reading and to adopt the ordinance.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 305 is an ordinance to amend the text of Section 106-1 definitions of the Unified Development Ordinance of Rockdale County as amended to repeal conflicting laws and for other purposes. This is submitted for a second reading.
I move to approve the second reading and to adopt this ordinance as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 306 is an ordinance to amend the official zoning district map of Rockdale County as amended by rezoning property located at 2397 Iris Drive Southeast from R1 Single Family Residential Zoning District to the M1 Limited Industrial Zoning District, to impose conditions upon the property, to repeal conflicting ordinances, and for other purposes. This is submitted for a first reading.
I move to approve the first read and to refer the ordinance to the Planning Commission.
I second that motion.
Been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions? All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Item 307, please.
This is an ordinance to amend the text of Section 106-1 definitions, Sections 218-1 permitted use table, Sections 218-13 standard of use and development of the Unified Development Ordinance of Rockdale County as amended regarding ice cream parlors, snack, and non-alcoholic beverage bars and retail bakeries, to repeal conflicting ordinances and for other purposes. This is submitted for a first reading.
I move to approve the first reading and to refer this ordinance to the Planning Commission.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions?
No, I just hope to see pop-up bakeries and pop-up ice
Sounds
cream
delicious right now.
places all over the county.
You're getting excited, huh?
Yes.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
I'm sorry, aye.
Next item, please.
For the record, aye.
Now everybody's hungry. Item 308 is an ordinance to amend the text of Section 214-5, one principal use authorized per lot of the Unified Development Ordinance of Rockdale County as amended, to repeal conflicting ordinances and for other purposes. This is submitted for a first reading.
I move to approve the first reading and to refer this to the Planning Commission.
I second that motion.
Been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item 309, please.
An ordinance to amend the text of Section 106-1 definitions, Sections 218-1 permitted use table, Sections 218-13 standards of use and development of the Unified Development Ordinance of Rockdale County as amended regarding rental and leasing of equipment and goods, to repeal conflicting ordinances and for other purposes. This is submitted for a first reading.
I move to approve the first reading and to refer this ordinance to the Planning Commission.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
All right, item 310 is an ordinance to amend the text of Section 202-6, Relationship to Comprehensive Plan of the Unified Development Ordinance of Rockdale County as amended, to repeal conflicting ordinances and for other purposes. This is submitted for a first reading.
I move to approve the first reading and refer this to the Planning Commission.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
All right, item 311 is an ordinance to amend the text of Section 106-1 definitions, Sections 206-1, the WP Watershed Protection District, Sections 218-1 permitted use table, Sections 218-13 standard of use and development of the Unified Development Ordinance of Rockdale County as amended regarding accessory dwelling units, to repeal conflicting ordinances and for other purposes. This is submitted for a first reading.
I move to approve the first reading and to refer this ordinance to the Planning Commission.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions or concerns regarding this one? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item 312, please.
This is an ordinance to amend the text of Section 106-1 definitions, Chapter 206 base zoning districts, Sections 206-1 WP Watershed Protection District, Sections 214-1 dimensional standards of zoning districts, Sections 218-1 table of permitted uses, and Section 218-13 standard of use and development of the Unified Development Ordinance of Rockdale County as amended regarding cottage home tiny houses, to repeal conflicting ordinances and for other purposes. This is submitted for a first reading.
I move to approve the first reading and to refer this to the Planning Commission.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Any question? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item 313, please.
This is an ordinance amending Article 4, Chapter 2, Part 2 of the Code of Rockdale County, Georgia by providing for the creation of and reorganization of certain departments to provide an effective date and for other purposes. This is submitted for a first reading this morning.
Move to approve the first reading of this ordinance as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Any questions, comments, or concerns? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item 314.
This is a resolution allowing for the creation and appointment of an additional law clerk for Rockdale County, Georgia, and the Rockdale Judicial Circuit by the Rockdale County Superior Court Chief Judge, and for the allocation of supplemental compensation for certain positions.
I move to approve this resolution as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns regarding this item? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item 315.
This is a resolution defining eligible employees for receipt of funds pursuant to the American Rescue Plan Act, known as ARPA, through the establishment of state and local coronavirus fiscal recovery funds and the allocation of same for Rockdale County, Georgia, workers performing essential work duty during the COVID-19 public health emergency.
I move to approve this resolution as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns on this item?
I think we've said it all.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. The final item is item 316.
And this is the appointment of the Director of Finance, Mr. Mark Lewis.
Oh, I move to appoint Mark Lewis as the Finance Director or the Director of Finance.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Can we do that again?
I was still thinking about the one before it, that we approve the resolution of defining eligible employees, and that's the first step in the allocation of those American Rescue Plan Act funds. And
Good job, Commissioners. Director Rutledge, I'm going to yield to public comment. I don't have any red
not
comment
received
cards
any
as of
cards.
yet.
There's
Okay.
Okay, it looks like we have one.
Okay.
Would you like me
So-
to go ahead and just read while we're...
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
If you would read the disclaimer while our team gets it to the nice lady in the back.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you,
As a
Director.
reminder, public comment is limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Comments relative to any issues that are currently going through the public hearing process, matters that are in active litigation, political campaigning, or partisan politics will not be heard in this meeting. Speakers are to address the chairman, not each other or the audience, and are expected to conduct themselves in an appropriate manner. The use of abusive or profane language shall not be allowed. No debate or argument between speakers and/or members of the audience shall be permitted.
Thank you. And I'm going to ask Ms. Foster to come on up. Ms. Foster, so good to see you. Absolutely. I've been getting tons of inquiries about what she wants to talk about, and we've got an update coming from Director Sanders here just shortly. But Ms. Foster, you're looking fabulous. Good to see you this morning. Yes, ma'am.
Good to see you all.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good
Can I
morning.
go ahead?
Go right ahead.
Okay, my name is Sadie Foster, and I am a resident of Rockdale County. I'm here to put into a plea for the chairman to reopen the senior center, the Olivia Haydell Senior Center. First, I would like to thank you and others who have ensured that we have received the necessary survival packages during the shutdown, and also made it easy for us to receive the vaccine. Very, very important. Okay, now, the senior center has provided a place for us to come together, to socialize, and have fun. We also are able to get our exercise through such activities as table tennis, the billiards, walking in groups, tai chi, etc. These things are good for our mental health. Even if the center would be reopened for 3 days a week to start out and then resume to 5 days a week later would be a start. We would, of course, follow the rules of the CDC. I will leave this for you all to consider. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Foster. Thank you so much for coming out this morning. Always good to see you. We've got some good news regarding the reopening of the Senior Center as we are really making sure we take care of the seniors here in Rockdale County. Commissioners, just like you all, our office have received several calls and inquiries from our fabulous seniors here in Rockdale County. They are ready to get back over to the Olivia Haydale. Director Sanders, come on up with this good, exciting news, because we are really excited about the future as we continue to protect our seniors. Director Sanders.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners.
Good morning.
So we are working towards, we are phasing in both Parks and Rec and Senior Services, particularly with Senior Services. We did furlough staff. So we are right now, if you go on the job postings, we have all of our job positions on there. And in August, we will start with the Veterans Transportation Program, which we have a beautiful van and just couldn't get that off the ground before COVID. So that we will start to go back into homes with Homemaker, and our case managers will begin to go back out. Throughout COVID, we've provided the virtual things, the Meals on Wheels, but we are going to work towards the transportation, and then we are going to revisit the opening of the center in the fourth quarter. But for right now, we're trying to ramp up getting our staff back in so that we can, when we do open, it will be safely.
Very good, very good. Thank you so much, Director. Miss Sadie, if you would come back up. I need your help. I'm gonna ask that you come up. Yes, ma'am. So because Ms. Foster has come out this morning and representing all of our wonderful seniors here in Rockdale County, I'm going to ask that you would serve as an ambassador on behalf of the Board of Commissioners to communicate with all those fine seniors, letting them know that we have it high on the radar here in Rockdale County. Ask them to just pardon our progress, be patient with us just a little bit longer. We want to make sure that everyone is safe. We also want to make sure that we have the right amount of staff on board and make sure they're safe at the same time. So if you would just reach back out to the folks that you communicate with, and again, and serve as an ambassador on our behalf. We won't have you waiting too long, but we want to make sure that it's safe and that the timing is just the way we need it here in Rockdale County. I tell you, the most vulnerable population in our community are our seniors, and it is our responsibility not just to get the place back open so quickly, but to do it in a safe manner so that everyone is safe and that we don't put our seniors in harm's way. But I need your help, we need your help, and I ask that you would reach out to those. We're going to be having a clergy call here real soon in the days ahead where we're talking with all the local clergy and pastors throughout Rockdale County, and we're going to be announcing to them some of our plans as well about what we're doing to reopen all of our facilities, which includes the senior center, okay? Thank you so much. Let's give Ms. Foster a round of applause. Absolutely. Yes. Thank you, Ms. Foster, and thank you for coming out this morning. It really means a lot.
Okay.
That's the kind of feedback that we need and participation, and I thank Director Sanders and her team for really taking a hard look at how we need to do this very safely. Even as we tell people to wait just a little longer, it's not what they particularly want to hear, but it's in the best interest of all of our seniors in Rockdale County. And let me just say this. We're not going to do what the other communities are doing. We're going to do what's best, right, and safe for Rockdale. That's what makes us stand apart. So we're rocking and rolling, and we're going to do it the safe kind of way and make sure that at the appropriate time, we open the doors. And I will tell you, it's going to be a celebration when we unlock those doors over at the senior center. We're going to make a big deal about it. Yes, ma'am. Commissioners, Commissioner Washington, I'm going to start with you with board comment.
Well, good morning. We're still rocking and rolling. It's only 11:04, so we're doing good. My first comment is last week I neglected to mention the passing of the city attorney, Mike Waldrop, who was an icon in the legal community. They had his memorials. I don't think it was a service. It was a celebration of life about 2 weeks ago, and I just wanted to make mention of what he meant to me. He was always somebody that I could go to get an earful on complex issues. He'd done a lot. He was almost a bully attorney. He was a pit bull attorney, but he was a kind person, loved the community, cared a lot, and we are surely going to miss Attorney Mike Waldrop. So I did want to go back and say the things that were on my heart regarding him. The second thing I wanted to make mention of was last week we did a whole lot of celebrating our employees and saying a lot of things about a lot of our employees, but there are two people that I wanted to give kudos to. First is our county attorney. Carter Begg sits quietly in the corner so often, but he is such a great legal mind. He won't let me tell the story of when I first met him anymore, so I'm not going to do that. But anytime that we need something, he especially me, y'all know me, I get an idea and I'm ready to move. And oftentimes he's, Sherry, slow down, let's think about all of these things. He keeps us on the straight and narrow. And most people know that I'm one of those 3 o'clock in the morning people. I'll text him and he might not answer at 3 o'clock in the morning, but he gets right back to us. He always calls us back, and keeps us up to date on everything, any issue that we want, and shows and navigates us legally. So thank you so much. I did want to make that mention. The second person that I wanted to highlight is our new constituent services liaison, Ms. Lisa Chester. We never did formally introduce her, but she's another one of those quiet phenoms. She has worked very, very hard. I know she helped Chief Cave with the presentation. There's so many things that are going on between post 1 and post 2. She's come in, she's hit the ball, she's hit the ground running, not just running, sprinting, because we are moving very, very fast, and she's done such an excellent job. So thank you and welcome, Lisa. I want to, remind everybody that, once again, school is out. I really, really encourage people to get some enrichment programs for their children that have had to do this hybrid virtual in and out of school thing for this year, understanding that past school year was hard for everybody, the parents, the teachers, the children, everybody. So I do encourage enriched learning for everybody. My final thing is, once again, thank you all for the hard work that we've done with our American Rescue Plan at funding, and I think that that everything that we're doing is in the right direction with keeping not only this government healthy, but our citizens healthy. So that's it. That's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Williams?
So thank you, Commissioner Washington, for representing us at the state capitol. I don't know who took the video, but I'm glad they did so that we could see your presentation. And that's just really interesting about the fact that we are working towards a plan that will benefit our citizens. Right. One of the things I noticed when I was at ACCG classes was people were talking about the funds and what they were going to do, but they didn't they had not used the same level of collaboration that we had done here with the meetings that were held with each of us individually, but to develop a plan. They knew they wanted this, they knew they wanted that, but they had no plan. And I'm pleased that we have created a strategic plan, so to speak, for the use of those unexpected funds that we received, the one-time funds that we received. Secondly, Juneteenth was this last Saturday, and I did have a chance to go to one event in the morning that they moved inside because of the rain. I'm looking forward to the event, one of the events that has been rescheduled for this Saturday. It was a great opportunity. The event that I attended at Antioch was, it was simple, but it was very well done. They had voter registration. They had Emory students, well, students from Emory and some other places doing a survey on COVID. They had a couple of different fraternities that were there. They had, it was very simple, but it was very informative. And I appreciated Pastor John Young having organized that and provided that opportunity for the citizens. It was well attended. I'm super excited about two of the ordinances that we have passed on today to the Planning Commission on accessory dwelling units and on cottage houses or tiny homes. I just think we are in a space where this is a good time to do that. The city of Conyers has grandfathered in a number of properties that have accessory dwelling units. I don't know what their ordinances say right now, but all around me, there are, in fact, right next door, there's a property with a house, with an apartment over a garage, and another smaller house in the back, which are accessory dwelling units. And they're always occupied, and people appreciate those spaces. We have a neighbor who is converting, they're brand new to the neighborhood. They're going to convert a garage space into a cottage so that the husband can navigate very easily in his wheelchair. And so there's just so many opportunities and so much need. And then lastly, as far as the community events, I have two grandchildren staying with me this week who are attending the Art Smart Camp down at the Sketching Pad and with Jennifer Baker, and at the Black Box Theater with Virginia Ham Smith. And they came home so excited yesterday. In fact, one of them had thought that he would not be able to attend today and Friday because of something else he wanted to do. No, he canceled those plans to stay because it was so well run. And I think I would like to congratulate them in conjunction with the Conyers Rockdale Council for the Arts and for those opportunities that they have. There are other art camps available this summer at the Sketching Pad, I know. I look forward to next summer when maybe we can begin to do some of that programming again at Johnson Park for a broader population. But I just feel like our community is robust, it's diverse, it's got opportunities, and I'm happy to be a part of being able to make some of those changes.
Well, thank you, Commissioners. Very briefly, I want to make mention that we are excited about the days ahead here in Rockdale County, particularly over the summer months. We will be kicking off our summer concert series starting on July 25th, the fourth Sunday in each of those months. July, August, September, and October, we'll be bringing back the summer concert series, and a lot of citizens are excited to hear that Parks and Recreation will be hosting those. We have information on our website. You can go there and find information off. But July 25th, out at Costly Mill Park, we'll be kicking off a series of our summer concert series. We will be looking forward to you being there, and don't forget to bring your lawn chairs, because we want to make sure that we can accommodate you and your family. It is a family event. Also on July 3rd, the Red, White, and Boom. This is a joint effort of both Rockdale County government and the city of Conyers. We're excited to bring back the fireworks display, somewhat of a hometown fireworks display here in Old Town Conyers. Please, ma'am, please, sir, please plan to join us on July 3rd, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. right here in Old Town Conyers, Red, White, and Boom. Again, another family event. There will be a lot of vendors, food vendors, and a lot of different products, goods, and services and wares that will be on display. A great evening to bring your family out. We've elected, along with the city of Conyers, to have this event on July 3rd. There are so many events actually on July 4th. So we're doing it in a different kind of way, just like Rockdale County and the city of Conyers, doing it differently. So we're encouraging you to come out on July 3rd. Also, I want to say that to bring clarity about the opening of our parks and facilities and rental spaces throughout Rockdale County will be official in August 1st. We've received so many inquiries about people wanting to rent spaces and facilities. There's so much to have to go into getting a place prepared and making sure that we are following all of the CDC guidelines. So August 1st, please bear with us just a little bit longer. It'll be August 1st before you know it, and we'll have those facilities back on the market for rental and all of the events that people are looking to have in and around Rockdale County. And as I said again, to our brand new ambassador, Ms. Sadie Foster, thank you so much for coming out and being a part of our meeting this morning. And we're trucking along, and we're going to make sure that we know that folks are ready to get out and start building those companionships and relationships again with other. One of the beautiful things about the senior center here in Rockdale County, it is one of the most active and most robust places in the region for seniors to go out and participate. We have a very active group of seniors in our community, and they are eager to get back out. So again, Ambassador Foster, thank you so much, and we look forward with keeping you updated with the progress of opening this fourth quarter. Thank you so much. Director Rutledge, is there any need for an executive meeting? And I think you've got some updates about upcoming meetings and where we're going, what's going to happen here.
I do want to mention a few things, Mr. Chairman. The Board of Commissioners will be on recess after this meeting today and won't have another Board of Commissioners meeting until the evening work session of Tuesday, July 20th. And when we do, it's my understanding we'll be in the Assembly Hall. We will not be meeting in the auditorium. We will have time in which to prepare the Assembly Hall to be back there in our regularly scheduled programs, fingers crossed. So yes, Mr. Chairman.
All right.
And there is no need for executive session.
There is no need
Thank
for
you.
executive session. Any final comments, Commissioner Washington?
No, I'm good.
Commissioner Williams? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Tuesday. This meeting is adjourned.